I remember the moment as if it was yesterday, for indeed it was a holy and sacred night back about 5 years ago on Holy Thursday. And as I knelt before the Eucharist on that silent and still night, there was a stirring of the Holy Spirit that I felt deeply alive in my heart. There was a stirring of that Holy Spirit that was both unpredictable and indescribable. And as I knelt before the Eucharist on that night at Saints Patrick and Raphael Parish in Williamstown, all of a sudden I felt that undeniable feeling from God that my time in Williamstown was short, that God was knocking at the door of my heart and preparing me to not only embrace a change of life, but there was also this indescribable and beautiful feeling that I was about to be brought to a new family who would change my life in the most beautiful way possible. When I looked up at the Eucharist on that night, I do believe I might have said within my heart, "You have got to be kidding me. I've only been here 5 years. I don't know if I'm ready for that change." And isn't that a natural and normal emotion that may erupt within the heart and the soul in that moment? Because I don't think I've ever met anybody in this life who says, "I love change. I can't wait to embrace it. It's my favorite thing in the entire world." Literally and beautifully, 1 week later, both St. Michael's Parish in East Long Meadow and St. Cecilia Parish in Wilbraham opened up as both Father Scahill and Father Serrano were retiring. I remember receiving that letter. I remember feeling the exact same knock at the door of my heart from Christ, that stirring of the Holy Spirit. I remember thinking about my mother, whose health was changing, and being so far away from her and Dad at that time, I couldn't help but think that God not only wanted me to embrace the change, to have a closer proximity of my heart to hers, but to also embrace a new found path, blessed by God, even though it was unknown, even though it might have been scary or intimidating. Christ was in the midst of it. And so I looked at those two parishes and I thought to myself, okay, Lord, you're calling me to put my name in for one or the other. Which one do I choose? Now, when I was in high school, I dated a young girl named Michelle who lived in Hamden, and I knew of St. Cecilia's Parish only from dating her. So there was a comfort there. There was an awareness, there was a knowledge of what that parish was all about. At St. Michael's, I never had the grace or the blessing to be there in my time of growing up. I knew without a shadow of a doubt how much all of you and all of our parish loved and respected Father Scahill as a good man who did great work. And I thought to myself, in my normal and natural human fear, how could I ever walk in his shoes? How could I ever walk in this path of replacing him? Could I ever embrace such a humbling and beautiful calling? And so, once again, there was another emotion being felt within my heart, and this was the emotion of fear. I only wanted to embrace that which I knew and that which was comfortable. So I remember putting my name in for St. Cecilia's in Wilbraham, but I also remember praying, Lord, wherever you want me to be, that's where you are meant to bring me. And as I prayed, my father and mother both decided that they would go on reconnaissance missions at both parishes, go to church at both, and see what they felt in their hearts. And wouldn't you know, they went to St. Cecilia's first, a beautiful parish. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. But when they came home, there was happiness and enthusiasm emanating from their hearts, but it was tempered in a certain way. They wanted to see how St. Michael's fit their heart. And I'll never forget that next weekend when I came home and talked to them about their experience at St. Michael's. My mother grabbed my arm and she said, Wayne, this place is you. This is your home. And I remember the absolute trust and confidence that was emanating from my father and mother's heart. And that is one grace and one prayer I will never, ever forget. And so I looked up to the Lord and I said, God, whatever your holy will is, bring me to the family you want me to embrace. And when Bishop McDonald blessed me to sit with him on my 10-year anniversary, to pray with him, to say, Wayne, we really would like you to go to St. Michael's in East Long Meadow, all of a sudden that same feeling of God knocking at the door of my heart, the feeling I had before the Eucharist, the humbling grace I had in experiencing that trust and faith emanating from my parents' heart, that feeling came alive. And all I could say immediately and instantly was yes. And I thank God for that every single day of my life. I know, without a shadow of a doubt, that St. Cecilia's is a beautiful place to be, as all parishes are, each living, moving, and breathing in their own unique and special way, to be open to the prompting of the Holy Spirit and to shine God's light and love in such a miraculous manner that there's an indelible mark of beauty left on the heart of this world. But I know in being brought to St. Michael's, God brought me home, God brought me to my family, and I am forever grateful for you. I am forever grateful for everybody that's at home from St. Michael's. I am forever grateful for the gift, the beauty, and the wonder of the Holy Spirit. And I can't help but think, time and time again, how my heart wanted to fight against that sacred calling of saying yes at first because of fear, because of discomfort. But in this life, when God knocks at the door of the heart, and when He offers us undeniable, beautiful, and inspiring peace, it's not as if God is calling us to know that life will be absent from trouble or challenge or heartache. It's part of the walk. It's part of the way that we live, move, and breathe with Christ, because with the strength of the Holy Spirit, we, in a beautiful sense, can unite ourselves to that sacrificial love on the cross and to say, Lord, in all that you said and all that you did, help me to imitate that amazing and inspiring salvific love, to unite my suffering to yours, to remain faithful, to love deeply and walk faithfully. In this life, we are reminded that, yes, as St. Augustine said, Christ loves us. He loves you. He loves every single one of you at home, as if you were the only person to love in this world. Remember that. You are a living and breathing prayer of grace. You are a miracle of love. There's nobody else in this world created in the image and likeness of God like you. And the way that we can be open to that prompting of the Holy Spirit, to say yes to God and not to let fear or discomfort dissuade us or define our personhood or take us away from the path that Christ has for us, the way we can be open to that Holy Spirit is first off and foremost to just be still and to be silent. Doesn't it feel good right now to be here as family, for those of us here in the chapel, to be at home? We're all together as family in this moment, and to actually have these things turned off and to have all of the distractions put aside, to be present to God, just to listen, just to be open. That's the beauty of the stillness and silence of sacred meditation. The other grace that is so very important is that when we encounter true love in this world, the true love that emanates from the Sacred Heart of Jesus, it's in that moment that Christ is inspiring us with those whom we walk with in friendship, with the experiences that are humbling, beautiful, and blessing, to be as honest, as authentic, and as real about our heart, to bring every ounce of our feelings to God and those who we walk with, whom we love, and whom we are humbled to receive their love. It might be intimidating at times. We might think deep within our heart, because of the fear and discomfort and vulnerability, Lord, how is this person going to react? How are they going to live, move, and breathe with me if they know all of my heart? Give all of your heart. Give all of your heart every single day, and trust that the person Christ put in your life that is like Christ to you, that person is there not only for one reason, they're there for a whole array of reasons. They're there to change your life. And in the beauty, the vulnerability, and the authenticity of a heart shared with the world, the Holy Spirit can not only be felt, it can guide us to the most beautiful miracle in the entire world. Amen.